Well, good morning. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why I'm on this map. 6 o'clock in the morning here in western Iowa. Temperature is 3 degrees. The wind chill is minus 12. We had a little cold front blow through yesterday. Let's see, it's Monday, January 13th. Monday the 13th. Dun, dun, dun. Way worse than Friday the 13th because it's Monday. All right, you've probably heard about the cold air that's coming. We'll talk a little bit about that, but we're going to warm up first. So we're going to talk about that as well. And then Lake Effect Snow Machine is going to get going. But before we get to that, I want to do our weather spotlight. The snowman population in the south has really gone up. Here's a 7.5 footer in Texas made by the whole family. This one's really cool in Oklahoma. A couple kids sitting in a truck with their sunglasses on. Great idea. Here we go. Batman. I'm not sure which state this is in, but really beautiful. Brooke Weaver being creative here. And my favorite, I think, is this lion watching over the neighborhood. Now, the unfortunate part is if you live in the South and you love snow, you don't get a lot of it. And when you do, you don't hang on to it for long. So this morning, the snow depth across Oklahoma into Arkansas, Tennessee, you've lost a lot of your snow. I mean, we're just left with an inch or two now on the ground, although the snowmen are going to hang in there a little bit longer. A little bit more where the colder air is, say in northern Georgia into eastern Tennessee. Now, further north, that storm that hit before the Mid-South storm that moved across from Kansas through the Midwest, hanging on to more snow because further north, colder air. Still have an inch or two here where I live in Iowa, most of Iowa without snow, but I still have an inch or two. And that fell like over 2 weeks ago. So I've never lived anywhere where you get an inch or 2 inch. We had 3 inches and you hang on to it for 2 weeks. It's pretty amazing. Speaking of 2 weeks, here's the snow we're expecting for the next 2 weeks. And so you've probably seen a lot of people talking about another southern snowstorm. Well, the GFS is just not seeing it. This is according to the GFS, the total amount of snow between now and Monday, January 27th. Not much for the South, maybe a little bit Tennessee, but more, of course, for the Great Lakes, more for the East Coast. So they've been kind of left out. And that donut hole, Iowa, Wisconsin, southern Minnesota, still, yeah, doesn't look good for us. It's been really weird with the lack of snow here, but this is what the GFS is saying right now. Currently, though, it is cold. Did I mention it's 3 degrees with the wind chill minus 12? Here in western Iowa, single digits across Iowa, negative numbers when you get into the Dakotas and Minnesota and Wisconsin. But you look into the Mid-South and temperatures barely around freezing, even a little bit above freezing for some folks, like in northern Mississippi, around Memphis, so that snow is melting. Still cold down there in Tucson. Is that a 29? Oh my gosh. Yeah, they don't like that. Most of them don't. All right, here are the hazards today. We have those freeze warnings down there in southern Arizona. Still fires raging out of control in the LA basin, southern California. Just be in prayer for those folks. Red flag warnings continue. Freeze warnings again, Central California. Lake effect snows, we're starting to get a few warnings and watches there. Winter weather advisories mostly for Michigan, although winter storm warning up there in the UP, and a few winter weather advisories for New York State. Broad brush surface for today. Cold front is blown through the Midwest and trying to make its way further south. And just some light snow, perhaps, scattered around here, but the heaviest stuff will be off of the Great Lakes. Eastern Great Lakes snow machine getting cranking a little later today. We do have a chance of rain in the southeast for tomorrow. Again, that cold air trapped in the Midwest, so we're going to be very cold again here in Iowa, for example, for tomorrow. And more heavy snow for the eastern Great Lakes. For the next 2 days, here's your precipitation. Could see some pretty good amounts of rain in, say, the Florida Panhandle, approaching an inch, maybe a little more here. And the rest is snow, and most of that is lake effect snow, where we're seeing a good 12, 16 inches possible off of Lake Erie, off of Lake Ontario, off of Lake Michigan, off of Lake Superior, and I'm sure off of Lake Huron on the Canadian side. So that's where the bulk of the snow is going to be for the next couple of days. Some light snow up there in the northern plains and into the Midwest. And Wednesday, still some snow up there in the Great Lakes, some rain possibly for the Texas Gulf Coast into Louisiana and southern Florida. See a little bit of rain and snow up there in Washington State. Here's the GFS. That's sorry, people who live in the South that want another snowstorm. I don't think it's, according to the GFS, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. But here's your rain this morning in the southeast, a little bit of snow up here in the Great Lakes. And as we go through the day, pretty quiet. We've got a little disturbance riding through South Dakota, parts of Nebraska here into Iowa. Our official forecast is a trace to a ½ inch tonight. So not a lot, but we'll take it if we get it. That disturbance rides into the Ohio Valley for more snow, but mostly it's the snow jets here coming off of the lakes. We're already into Tuesday night here, and we see lots of snow coming off of the eastern Great Lakes, especially that cold air getting into the mid-south, but not into the southeast. So a lot of your snow is going to be gone, where it snowed in the south. Again, your snowmen may hang in there longer. Your individual results may vary. Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, we're starting to see this warm up now. Warmer air in the plains moving to the east, where it's going to push our temperatures. For example, in Iowa, we might see a couple days with highs near 40. So my snow is probably going to be gone too. And so we see that happening as we get into, this is Thursday morning. So still snow off of the Great Lakes, a little bit of rain along the Gulf Coast, warmer air pushing into Kansas and Nebraska, into Iowa. Hanging on to the cold further north, but even South Dakota, North Dakota getting warmer as we get into Thursday at noon here. Another disturbance through the Great Lakes, lake enhanced and lake effect snow. Rain down here in Florida as we get into Thursday night, moving into Friday. Lake effect snow continuing. Warm temperatures. Everybody's snow is going away. So before our shot of cold air, I think we're going to melt a lot of our snow. But we do have light snow up here in the plains, and this is the low. Once it clears, that cold air has permission to dive south, and dive south it will as we get into Friday. We start to see that cold air now moving along the eastern side of the Rockies, just banked up against the eastern side of the Rockies. Strong north winds through the plains, cold air dumping. We're starting to see some rain develop in the Midwest down through the southeast, and that's snow up here in northern Ohio and into Pennsylvania and New York, but mostly it's rain. And if we have enough moisture moving into the front and we get a little wave on here or maybe a low forming, we could see some severe weather moving through the south come along Saturday. So we'll keep an eye on that. That's not for sure yet, but it's something to keep an eye on, and we'll do that because that's what we do. And that rain moving through the south. So if you had any snow, it's gone. But a little light snow for West Texas as we get into Sunday. This is midnight Saturday night into Sunday. Cold air just invading everywhere. A little bit of light snow, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, as we get into the day Sunday. And greater amounts as you head further east. So Pennsylvania, West Virginia, into the mountains of North Carolina. Some pretty good snows, and the East Coast may pick up some snow that they have not been getting. And it depends on how close to the coast this low forms or goes. Because right now on Sunday night, it's rain in New York City and New Jersey and snow inland and heavy at times. But if that low is a little further off the coast, it could be more snow closer to the big cities. But maybe a little bit of snow on the backside as we get into Monday. And then that exits, but some very strong winds, cold air all the way through the south, leaking into the west coast. A little bit of light snow here with that cold air. This gets us into the 20th. Kind of the coldest air that I could find on the models is going to be like the morning of the 21st. You can see that 540 line is all the way into Louisiana. But look how dry it is. Just the Great Lakes getting some snow. Everyone else pretty dry, a little bit of light snow, but that's about it. And as we get further into the run, did we have a little bit of snow here along the coast? Yeah, North Carolina coast maybe. But of course, we're getting pretty far out now. 21st is what? At least a week away. And then, just cold and dry as we get into Wednesday the 23rd, Thursday the 24th. A little bit of light snow here in the Ohio Valley and Midwest. A little bit of rain in South Texas as the warmth comes back by the 26th. So we'll see if that happens. And then maybe another wave coming in with another cold front with some snow up here in Kentucky, West Virginia. But that's way in the future, the 27th, my dad's birthday. The trends are colder, though. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook is just a big dump of cold air across the entire country, especially in the center of the country, but like the whole center of the country and from coast to coast. And the 8 to 14 moves it a little further to the east, as we go further out in time. Precipitation-wise, 6 to 10. Maybe Rockies with above average, southeast and east coast. But, again, the upper Midwest into the Midwest, just drier than average, just crazy. 8 to 14, that trend continues, and really that dry air expands in the Midwest and the West, where they could use some rain. And the Southeast and the East, best chance of above average, as well as the Northern Plains. So there you go, snow lovers. Your snowmen will be melting as we warm up in the plains and the south before our next shot of really cold air. But it doesn't look like a southern storm right now, according to the GFS. Of course, there's lots of time to work out those details, and we'll keep you posted along the way. Enjoy your Monday. Thanks for tuning in. The Weather Mike. We'll see you tomorrow.